This is an open letter to Mr. Elon Musk. Here's the thing, sir. When I go to the bank to move to, either put in or take out anything over $3,000, really, uh, Uncle Sam's managers, as well as the bank, the Uncle Sam's managers, everybody has to fill in some kind of form and hand it back and forth to each other between the large corporations such as a bank and the government. They both want to know if I move $3,000 in or out of my account. That's the law, basically. They tell the banks, let's go with 3,000. Arbitrary. So come to find out that you were able to, so if I do $3,000 in and out or whatever, is everybody, both the government and the private sector, wants to know. Alarms are raised. What's going on? Is it suspicious? But then you go around and move $44 billion. The system allows you to move $44 billion or take over $44 billion in liabilities. Therefore, we're supposed to expect that if this enterprise is not profitable, $44 billion in liabilities goes up in smoke. But the system has decided to accept you going ahead and taking over $44 billion in liabilities. So the system approves you, Mr. Musk. You see what I'm saying? The system doesn't trust me with $3,000, but the system has trusted you with $44 billion. When I say the system is, if somebody wants to borrow such huge sums, take on such huge liability, NSA wants to know, the CIA wants to know, FBI wants to know, everybody wants to know what's in it for us. Or else we are not going to issue the permission for the banks to accept the liabilities on your behalf. Some big individuals and big banks. Knowing that, that you're good for $44 billion, that means you are the system. What do you mean you're fighting the system? You are the system, my friend. The system, accepts you and you accept the system and you're good together. But the problem is, so you are the deep state, Mr. Elon Musk, or Mr. Jeff Bezos, along with Mr. Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett, and hundreds of thousands of other individuals that we don't know, they're just rich. Nobody knows how rich. So within 1% of the population, let's say, you are the system. Within that bracket of wealth, you are the system. You see what I'm saying? Because if you weren't the system, the regulators would, who want to, put my $3,000 under a microscope, are okay with your $44 billion. What are your aims? What are your objectives? Where you're going? What you're coming from? So the idea that, the whole Tucker Carlson and, now that Elon Musk has shown his ideas about Melee in Argentina and about propping up, somebody in Venezuela, which frankly nobody has heard, but there is order there, there's security there, then that must be good. Let's relax and don't put up sanctions. Maybe their economy gets better. It's not sick all the time. Their economy is sick all the time. It's because they're under sanctions. because their oil company dared encroached in the footpath of the Uncle Sam's corporations. That 1% owns all the gas stations, and they were worried, they got worried that suddenly an Venezuelan oil company is buying gas stations in mainland US. That was the whole thing, that the 1% in US decided no, they're not okay with these brown people fucking from Venezuela start buying gas station in our land, in our doorstep. Are you fucking kidding me? So suddenly they became unwelcomed. Sort of like, I'm sorry, capitalism works only when you do it. Free borders and free markets is good when it profits you, the 1% with the best weapons, but not when it profits us, the 99%, whether your domestic population or the international population, which also become assume they're also 99%. What are you talking about? And then you have a brown boy with that chubby brown boy, Patel something, being defending as a spokesman some very imperialistic ideas. That Patel is cheap. So Mr. Patel is a spokesman that is okay with defending some really racist ideas such as imperialism and justifying it. Oh, we don't know. They're doing something it's like hearing at the court of Elizabeth that the Elizabeth spokesman is saying that, oh, yes, we have heard there are some skirmishes in the frontiers in that savage land, and we don't concern ourselves. They're savages. Let them fight each other. We don't concern ourselves. They're your savages. You're supporting them. Now the frontier in 1650 was the West. Now 2020, the 21st century, the frontier is back at east. To the savages. I'm sorry. You go to their land in the redskin land. You go to their land and you call them savages. It's like going to somebody's home as a guest and then declaring the homeowner as a savage. It's like, you have a home, you go to your home and not be savage. I mean, you know, are you kidding me? Maybe they want to be savages in their own home. Let them be savages in their own way. You don't need to, bring the church into it, civility into it, democracy into it. They don't want to rule themselves with a democracy. What is it to you? Here is what is it to you, Mr. Elon Musk. You are the system. Whether you want to, yes, for a time you were trying to pretend that you're playing some kind of 3D chess that we can't see. I'm sorry. You're pretending that you're playing some kind of a 3D chess that we can't see. So that, oh, no, you're right. We are all on the same page. It's just that you don't know, you can't see what kind of chess I'm playing. No, we saw you provide very little, Starlink connection to Ukrainian drone ships, the drone exploding boats that ram the Russians' mighty ships. Okay, that's Starlink. I mean, you are the system is you. So don't tell me I am against the military industrial complex. What part of it you're against? You went, you didn't shake the hand of the native brown skins. You shook the hand of the settling white skins in Israel. Are you fucking kidding me? So, and you're pretending that you're playing this kind of 3D chess. You backed Mele. Mele was Christian when he got elected. Then he, once in office, he became Jewish. Okay, nothing wrong with that, but you know, you apples and oranges. don't both are great fruits, but don't tell me you're an apple. But then after you get elected, you tell me no. But you for I've become an orange. I identify as orange now. I identify as Jewish now that I'm the president. And he goes to Israel and kisses the ring, and yes, we are in it now. Help us economically. Give me money because now I've come and kiss the ring. And he wants to breaks off the BRIC alliance. No, we don't want your invitation. I want to be part of NATO. And what happened? What were you and Mr. Tucker Carlson for, Mele? To just change camp because nothing in Argentina has gotten better ever since he got elected. The only thing that got better was changed was alliances. Yeah, I understand it may take time. Even if it does take time, and let's say Argentina gets better, do we all have to, you know, kiss your ass to get a better life? Okay, then, please print it up and type it up and put it in the United Nations and say you have to kiss the security member's ass when you come in, one specific one, security council member's ass every morning while you're walking in, because that's the only ass that counts, that is important. Please write it up. It's sort of like, no, we're going to sanction you if you're not in our camp, but then we're going to rob you if you are in our camp. We're going to sanction you if you're not in our camp, and then we're going to rob you when you are in our camp. Colombia has always been on Uncle Sam's corner ever since, they broke it off Panama, and cocaine became its most important export, whether legally or illegally. And they always have been in the same camp as Uncle Sam. How better was the economy of Colombia before all the sanctions started on Venezuela? How better was the economy or the general welfare in Colombia? How better it was since the same time with Venezuela? It wasn't much better. Both shitholes. One was a ally supposedly, one was not. And let's remember, Colombia and that Simon Bolivar that they worship, I think his name was Simon Bolivar, that they worship as the founder, that's their founder, that's like their George Washington. Something like that. Don't hold me to it, but they have a sense of pride. They want to be independent, and that's, their heart knows that at independence that they try to buy some gas stations in the motherland. So, which got them in trouble. Encroachment onto corporate backyard of Uncle Sam. It's like, nope, it's not gonna fly. So, my point is this: that rules apply to everybody except us. That's pretty racist. Uh, Here's the thing, and beside that, basically, I'm sorry, it's stereotype that you have is Sheldon. from the Big Bang Theory. They have immortalized you in a way that but Sheldon, the system didn't own Sheldon. So you are Sheldon, but the system you own the system, or the system owns you. You and the system own so much money to each other. You're under each other's liabilities. So you guys are, you are one. They're so you and the system, the 1%. They're so interconnected with the system that they're basically one. They're one system. That's the uniparty, they say, or the oligarchy, or whatever you want to call it. And you are from within, but you're pretending that and you think we don't notice, and you are basically saying that, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I'm playing some very sophisticated 3D chess. You're backing all the imperialist forces. You are for Europeans in Asia, and you're for unity under the flag of one club. One club that doesn't really, is not even really open to everyone. It's not an open club, and they keep getting smaller. From NATO of so many members, we got AUKUS, and then we got the Five Eyes, and it's getting closer and smaller and smaller. The circle of respectable people is getting smaller and smaller. And the circle of you are us, we are you, we don't want to kill each other, let's go kill those motherfuckers. That circle is getting smaller and smaller. Now it's like Five Eyes. And the Anglo-Saxon eyes. You're I'm sorry, but it's the thing with myopia that you and Sheldon from Big Bang Theory have in common is that you focus on things, and you're good at solving problems by focusing on something, and focus well and gather all the information and solve it, and then focus well and gather all the information, solve it, and then the next one. That brings myopia. And when you're also surrounded by so many kiss asses, that also increases your myopia. Nobody would put up with Sheldon's, the character's attitude, unless people who really worship his intelligence. The problem with having high intelligence is that uh, the problem of when you lose the periphery is the same as saying you have lost moral morality. The periphery, you can equivocate it to morality. Periphery vision. What you see here can be equivocated to morality of one's person. People who have this, I don't know the word for it is myopia or not, but the people who have this tunnel vision of focusing on different matters and coming up with solution and liking to do that, they lose the periphery vision. And what is the effects of that is going to be that myopia, what the effect is going to be in the periphery. Shelton was, a fun example of it, and so you are a fun live character of it. That you focus on solving solutions, and a lot of those solutions have no morality in them whatsoever. It's sort of like, yeah, we have to provide them with this so they can do that, boom, 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 and whatever, however, and we have to provide these with this so they can do that and kill so many. Okay, because I am them, they are me, we are the same, but those motherfuckers, those are the native savages, the savage natives. Here's to the foreign civilized, the savage native and the foreign civilized. If you repeat the whole story again. Anyway, here's the thing. The first time I mentioned this, you ridiculed it and you know, opened a Twitter account on behalf of it. But I'm still serious. If you have a black woman or brown woman in your life, such as, whatever you like, there are many beautiful brown and black people, women. But the thing is, that woman becomes your peripheral vision because, believe me, you don't have peripheral vision, and you don't want to. I mean, I don't have peripheral vision much, but I'm not. As I said, the system doesn't trust me with $3,000. But the system has trust you with 44, for example, 44, and with the Tesla's values and that values and the other values, all together, put together, the system has entrusted you with so much liability. Well, if you don't have peripheral vision, where is the story going? What is the end point in this? We can talk now, or we can talk 5 years from now, or 20 years from now. Nothing is going to get better. Every day, a couple of thousand more people die. So there is no sense in. We have to sit down. That's the main objective. We have to sit down. Now, how long that negotiation takes until we both can stand to be in each other's presence and eat ice cream in the same room. That's how long, negotiation has to extend to build trust. To stop war, you have to build trust. To build trust, you can't build trust if you don't want to see the fucking guy. Stopping the war in Ukraine is quite simple. It says, oh, we will sit down and talk until the old man get tired and agree to shake hands on some fucking format. Based on some fucking format. Doesn't really matter. Again, people, they know they gotta pay taxes and they really don't care which side. They don't. They just want to stay alive. So this is your solution to this, Mr. Elon Musk, is no, 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 no. I understand these people better because we are on the same wavelength. They speak better English, and they reflection in the mirror is lighter, and they're pink skin, and we have share the same book, and have more or less the same history, a messy one between the Christians and the Ashkenazi. So we have a very complicated history, but still we recognize we have more. We are more in tune with these guys than we are with those native savages, savage natives or native savage. And you're backing this, and you're saying, yeah. Let's. And in Venezuela, it's like, no. We have to get it democratically. Like Mele, all he did was he just joined your camp, and he's still waiting for his bone. He joined the camp, standing by the door and waiting for a bone from the emperor. Apparently, it's not coming for some time now. I'm sorry, but you're myopic. You have to have somebody in your life, as a woman of some kind in your life, who comes with more melanin, a lot more melanin. The more melanin, the better, because So, and you should trust her to provide you with periphery vision. So you're not so myopic. The problem is the problem of Frankenstein. Mr. Frankenstein had a tunnel vision. His idea, intentionally well, trying to create immortality, bring to life a dead person that on the surface, it's something that we like, that, who doesn't want immortality? But in his quest, the idea is that became myopic, and that's how what they call intelligent people usually become myopic. They're fully concentrate on their objective and lose total, you know, periphery vision that what is the result of this is going to be, and you're no exception. Frankenstein, you you get into a myopic perspective, and then you know becomes harmful for a lot of other people. The situation becomes harmful for a lot of other people. Like, even you can say organizations such as CIA and NSA, and the rest of them, uh, you know, they are very myopic. That's the open on the opening page of application for a position in any government organization, especially a very important one such as CIA. You agree to have a very myopic vision that we are right no matter what. That's the first page. It's sort of like, this is top secret job. we gotta have we gotta have an understanding with you that you gotta have a very myopic vision, or else this is not a job for you in this very secretive organization, such as all the security and intelligence agencies are. And they and their first page, they want people who are myopic, or else these silly decisions would not have been made with regards to everything: Afghanistan, Vietnam. Which century do you want? Which war do you want? 270 some odd years of existence, and 260 of it in war. That tells me it's a very myopic system. Identify this what you call democracies, identifies the problem and attacks the problem and lose total periphery vision. Every one of these organizations, CIA, is like, objective is this. Let's achieve that objective, and we really don't care how, because our job is, that becomes problematic. I mean, one example that everybody knows, they apparently use the pretext of inoculating for some kind of a virus or bacteria, and under the pretext of inoculating people, they were going around and taking DNA samples to find bin Laden. I'm assuming this was in the news. So, okay, they very myopically, they went and achieved their objective. What they didn't realize, didn't care, wasn't studied, it's not important, is that for years after that it came out that it was through pretext of vaccination that they found bin Laden. For many years after that, people refused to bring their children in for vaccination, or allow the vaccinators to go around vaccinating children anywhere near their children, because somebody reported that it was all fake. One time it was fake, but then you know nobody trusted anymore for a long time. That's a very myopic operation. We want to do this in that savage shithole for this purpose, and we really don't care about the, you know, collateral damage, because the collateral damage are not our citizens. They are savages from a shithole. They're not citizens of Rome. Are you kidding me? Even if they're born in Rome, they're not citizens of Rome. Fuck them. I'm sorry, but the whole idea is that you are the system. The system is you. You're pretending that you're apart from the system, or somehow anti-system. No, you're not. You see, as long as the system is what is under this system, you're a rich man. And therefore, this system, as long as it can provide security and stability for your wealth, what you own, you like the system. It's like this system is the best friend of the rich people. And revolutions happens when the idea becomes 99 and 1. That's when there's so many have fallen into the 99% that the thing flips over. But the idea is that's the idea behind almost every revolution. It's economic. What percentage of the society are sharing sharing the wealth, and what percentage of the society are renting, and what percentage of the society have assets. That's always, all revolution comes to that. But you seem to not to get this. The myopia that you exhibit is that you don't you know you're helping the military industrial complex, and you're rooting for bringing some kind of form of democracy in places that you have never visited in your life. I mean, this is the thing. If you never visited a country, a land, a tribe, you should really keep your opinions to yourself. Is that too much to ask? If you haven't visited them, if you haven't lived with them, if you haven't broken bread with them in their own land, in their own terms, you should refrain from having any opinions about them. Period. Is that too much to ask? Because, you know, if you don't speak their language, or better yet, if you don't speak their language, a language of a tribe, you should not have any opinions about them. Period. If you don't speak the language, that's when the idea of this myopia comes into play. When you hear on Tucker Carlson, he was interviewing somebody, that the myopia in the State Department is that they purposefully try to send somebody who's totally alien to the destination nation as ambassador. The myopia in the U.S. State Department is that they try to actually send somebody who is not familiar with the local cultural language. What, you want to have misunderstanding with them, or you want them to slit the native's throat without actually feeling bad about it because he's not at all familiar with the context of their civilization. So he will slit their throat at an instant with no regards. You want that in your ambassador. Why? This is a British imperialist mentality, that our ambassadors don't need to speak the native's language. In fact, the more foreign they are from the native's culture, the better. The State Department prefers it. Why? So there would be a misunderstanding. You're looking for misunderstanding, cultural or contextual or national, or you want more misunderstanding. That somehow benefits the military industrial complex? Yes, it does. If our diplomats can't speak their language, our soldiers get some work. Get to work. No negotiations, just shooty shooty. We don't want to talk to them. We want to own them. That's when you send, or when you purposefully send ambassadors to different corners of the planet who purposefully do not speak the native language or know anything about the native culture. You're sending a blind person who's going to be not an asset but a burden to you and the host country. The ambassador is going to be a burden to you and the host country because the ambassador is absolute, doesn't know the first thing, she or she doesn't know the first thing about the natives. Clean slate. Why don't you just, send them a, cutout of an ambassador and tell the natives you have to kiss this cardboard's ass? It's the cardboard of our ambassador who doesn't live in the native land. Actually, he does Zoom with the natives. That's the next step in the empire. Ambassadors don't want to no longer go into their destination because they have nothing in common. So they stay back home and they do Zoom calls. Yeah, and there's a cardboard of the ambassador in the embassy over there that the native politicians have to come kiss the cardboard. I actually saw this video clip of they've done exactly that. I say it because I saw it. They've done exactly that in Saudi Arabia. Apparently, there was this image of people lining up, going into the building, and there were two cardboard cutouts of two people. Who knows who were these guys? These were the, I think, probably the prince and the king. And they actually, while they were coming in, I guess, to work in the morning, they had to kiss both of these cardboard cutouts and continue through to their posts in the government. Yeah, I've seen it. So I'm sorry, your views are imperialistic, Mr. Elon Musk. Your perspective is imperialistic, and you are the system. You're not fighting the system, you are the system. Just like, Mr. Bezos is the system is Mr. Bezos, Mr. Buffett, Mr. you know, Diamond, and Mr. the Goldman Sachs fellow. But the point is this, that you are the system. Please don't pretend any longer that you're playing some kind of 3D chess. No, you are for imperialism because, and the trouble back to the Frankenstein is that, like the movie or the personality, the Oppenheimer, he also, when you lose periphery of what this thing can do, then when it's done, you achieve your means, then, you either go mad or you, it, it just doesn't end well. It doesn't end well if you lose periphery. Then the best people to bring you periphery are, black women. They pay a lot of attention to periphery, the emotional side of life, the, the community side of life. You see what I'm saying? That is what is you're missing. You don't know. Have you been to Venezuela? Have you been to Colombia? Up close, in the skies, as a backpacker. Have you seen it? Lived between them for a while. Spoken their language? No. Then what do you know which leader is better for them, or what do you even know which form of government is better for them? What do you know? Yeah, I've heard some snips and bits about it in the news. Over the years, and I'm intelligent enough to decide which side is the good side and which side is the bad side, and what form of government do those people need to live under. By the way, your form of government in South Africa, in North America, you people have been at war ever since your creation, anywhere almost. Right now, it's back to war in Europe. I'm sorry, my pink-skinned friend, Mr. Elon Musk, this democracy that you say is a better form of government, this race that you say is a better race, you guys are still at war. Wherever you go, you cause more wars. It's okay, maybe, but somebody like you cannot say it's not me, because as I say, you are the system. System is you. As you said, you pay the biggest taxes, and your Starlink is being used by one side of war against the other, and your moral and financial support is supporting one side of the war in Israel against the natives, Europeans against the natives, and you're supporting Mele, who the only thing he really did was change an alliance which had yellow skins, black skins, and brown skins in it, BRICS, an alliance which had yellow skins and black skins and brown skins in it, changed his alliance from there to NATO, which is a pink skin alliance. That was the main outcome of Mele's presidency. Change of alliance from some kind of a racial diversity to some kind of a monocolor unity of the European pinkskins. Is that the objective? Is that where you're comfortable with, Mr. Elon Musk? Is that the South African speaking to you on your behalf? I'm sorry that you're holding such a grudge against South Africa just because they've lived in their land for a couple of thousand years and they didn't feel like being run by people who have moved from Europe to Africa last Wednesday. I don't think that's unreasonable. However bad their own rule is, it's not your business. If you think they rule themselves badly, it's not your business. But to think that you know how best they should be ruled without actually living there or speaking their language or doing anything, but you know better. What is it better for them? That's racism. That's racist mentality, that my way is the best way to do things. And that's the myopia that very intelligent people obtain. Get eventually. That's the myopia that my way is the best way because I'm the most intelligent guy in this fucking room. Yes, but the myopia doesn't help you with the periphery. What is the cost of this action? It's like you have a personality of a bullet. It's fired, it's a projectile, it's fired, it moves through the air, it has a very short life, moves through the air, focuses on a simple task of hitting a target, blowing a brain, and then it's the bullet's life ends, its purpose ends by achieving its objective. But so the bullet is not concerned with who shot and who was on the receiving end, and the short lifespan that it goes at the higher speed than sound. In that short lifespan, there is no peripheral vision of how many lives this bullet is ruining around this objective that it's achieving. No peripheral vision, a bullet. And this is again goes back to the Hitler conversation from the other day. People like you with myopic vision, thinking like a bullet, achieving objective, losing periphery perspective because you're too focused on your objective. This is what Hitler was all about. The industrialists, the rich people, the people with assets in Germany decided they want to back the bullet. Somebody who was also, object oriented, which Germans in general are. Object oriented without any moral obligations, without any feelings to any moral obligations. Moral obligations can be compared to peripheral vision. Your objective is something, but do you have that moral obligation or that peripheral vision to see that if going in this way about reaching your objective is going to cause so many bad ripples in the pond? The bullet doesn't see that. You should, as the richest guy, as the guy who is the system and the system is him, and he owns the system and the system owns him, liability wise. You should have peripheral vision. And since you can't have peripheral vision, you really can't. Your mind is objective oriented. So as you don't have peripheral vision, you should be, having a black wife, period. Somebody who, can give you some kind of and please don't fucking laugh at it. This is serious. You're too involved with the system not to have, because your myopia will create Hitler-like your myopia and other rich people's myopia, because rich people also have a myopia. It's about money and proving something, and they became rich by having a myopia. Nobody became rich by being a slacker. You have to be very hardworking and very lucky to become rich. So the myopia is this, the field is already set. The table is already set. So it's clear all the rich people, in my view, who have proven themselves to be myopic, total disregard to competition and the employee and the consumer, because the government always have to come after the producers who poison the consumers and kill the consumers and test it on the consumer. The government continuously have to try to prevent the corporation from abusing the consumers. So in this environment, the rich people can actually make bad decisions like they did in Germany, and back with that myopic vision that they have, they concentrate on some messiah-like figure, some good orator who speaks a good game, but with a very myopic perspective that rich people are good and poor people are bad. And you should live with it, which is basically your idea. Your idea is you're one of those people, Mr. Elon Musk, that I believe your idea is like, if I have it, I earned it because I was so better at the other side than in the game that I earned it. I mean, were you competing with people with the same IQ as you? Were you competing with the, people with the same background as you, with the same, you know, you weren't. So winning, if, I play basketball with Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan beats me, but is going to write about it or take a picture about it? No, there's no question that the gentleman beats me in basketball. So you beat a lot of other ordinary people who didn't have, your intelligence or your background or your oomph. But that doesn't mean their children don't need education. It doesn't mean that, white people should be ruling West Asia. It doesn't mean white people should be ruling the Arabs. It doesn't mean decisions of for Venezuela should be made in New York and Washington. It doesn't mean imperialism. Yes, this is again another thing with this Frankenstein myopia is that you're surrounded by yes men, and you think and you find solutions, and you have the solution, but you lose all perspective of what at what cost. How, and do you think you're special that, well, those people over there in Ukraine are dying, it's not me. That's what, the woman in foreign minister of or prime minister of one of these small shitholes in Eastern Europe was saying that, yeah, why we need to talk to Putin. Well, I'm sorry, take the same woman who says, why talk to Putin, we don't need to communicate. uh, Take the same woman, put her in fatigues, send her to the front line, and give her a week, and then ask her if she's still alive. Ask her if she wants to talk to Putin. To sit down and negotiate until we get tired and one of us gives up. That's the thing. They don't want to talk, but expect other people to go and die. They do not want to talk while they expect other people that not only talk but go and die. That's the myopia. That's the myopia of intelligent people. That's the pitfall of intelligent people. They lose perspective. They lose periphery. And you do it often. Salute.